What's going on, guys? White Fox 1225 here with another Elder Scrolls Online Saturday, and between the Dark Brotherhood announcements and PAX East, we just have so much to talk about. It's going to be a bit of a longer video, but we're going to go over all the Dark Brotherhood details, changes to the Imperial City, and just a bunch of miscellaneous really cool stuff coming to the game. It just seems like we all of a sudden got flooded with information, so I'm going to do my best to cover it in this video. Might have to make a second video to pick up on some of the things I missed, like minor details, next weekend, but for now, we're going to be covering a lot of the news, and definitely all the big things. Let's start with the Dark Brotherhood. So it's on PTS right now for PC, which was a shock. I was so surprised when they announced this. It was just so quick, but it is on PTS, so you can play it right now for free and just test it out and help ZeniMax a little bit. Then also it's going to launch May 31st for PC, which is pretty quick, I have to say. I was expecting a July release date for the Dark Brotherhood, but it's going to come May 31st for PC and then June 14th for console. Of course, it's going to be free for ESO Plus members, and it's going to cost you 2,000 crowns if you're not an ESO Plus member, and then if you want the Collector's Bundle, which comes with a wolf mount and a Nixad pet and 5 experience scrolls, that's going to cost you 4,000 crowns. I was definitely surprised by how quick they're releasing this DLC. I think a lot of people are too, but hey, I'm not complaining. We're going to get some Dark Brotherhood, and that's enough for me. But now that we have all those release details out of the way, let's get into what's actually coming with the DLC. So in case you didn't know, the DLC is taking place in the Gold Coast, which is a part of Cyrodiil. They said the zone is going to be a little bigger than Abba's Landing, so the zone that came with the Thieves Guild, but it's going to be about the same amount of content. It's going to be 2 delves and 2 world bosses for you to take down in there. And of course, also the Dark Brotherhood questline is there, but the Dark Brotherhood questline also is going to take you out of the Gold Coast and around Tamriel. I really love this. It's something they did with the Thieves Guild. It makes the world feel more alive when you have to travel back to old zones. It feels less like you're just progressing zone to zone and more like you're just traveling Tamriel around the world. So excited for that, but the game will mostly take place in the Gold Coast, and pretty excited for that. Definitely excited to visit Cyrodiil again. Let's talk about the Dark Brotherhood skill line, because this is really exciting and we have quite a bit of news to cover. The skill line works a lot differently than I thought it would. The first skill you're going to get in the skill line is called the Blade of Woe, and you're actually going to get the Blade of Woe. It's a weapon that made an appearance in Skyrim and Oblivion that was associated with the Dark Brotherhood, and now it's coming to the Elder Scrolls Online, but it works a little differently. It's not just a dagger in this game. It works like a synergy, so when you sneak up from behind someone, you can, hit X, and then you do an assassination takedown, you instantly kill them, which is going to bring a lot to the gameplay. It's going to make it feel like an assassination game and a stealth game, which is cool. Awesome to see new mechanics coming to make, this even more of a stealthy assassination game. You'll be able to use the Blade of Woe in any PvE environment to take down normal enemies. You can't use it on bosses or anything like that, because that would be OP. And of course you can't use it in Cyrodiil, because that would be crazy and just make it so unbalanced. But you will be able to use it in any PvE situation, and that's just going to change the gameplay a lot, because I like to play stealthy, and now I can just sneak around and assassinating people. Definitely something that I'm looking forward to. But let's move on to the other skills in the skill line. We have Scales of Pitiless Justice, which makes you have less bounty when you're witness doing a crime. Pedemoniac Sprint, which makes killing NPCs increase your sprint speed, which is kind of a cool thing, because now if you're spotted by a guard and you're running away, you can just kill someone quick, and it's going to help you get away quicker. I see it adding a lot to the gameplay. We have Shadowy Supplier, which is a member of the Dark Brotherhood, gives you supplies. I think that's going to work like the Thieves' Troves, but we're going to have to wait and see. Shadow Ride, which reduces the aggro radius of your mount. So let's say if I ride past an enemy on my mount, maybe they won't attack me right then because they won't notice me. And then last up we have Spectral Assassin, which is going to give you a chance not to be seen if you do a murder, even if you're wide out in the open. The skill line sounds pretty good to me. Obviously the main star of it is the Blade of Woe, which is going to actually give you some mechanics to work with, but overall a really good skill line. And let's move on to the daily quests. We have 3 kinds of daily quests coming to the DLC. We have Bounty Quests, which is going to take you to delves and world bosses and do all that stuff. There's Contract Quest, which is going to be killing people around Tamriel in different zones, so maybe I'll get a contract to kill someone in Windhelm, or maybe I'll get a contract to kill someone in Glenumbra. And then also we have Sacrament Quest, which is going to be instant levels for assassinations, kind of like when you did those heights in the Thieves Guild. It's going to be in like a subterranean level where you have to go and take someone out. One cool thing that they mentioned at PAX East is there's going to be multiple ways to complete a lot of the assassinations in the quest and in the daily quest, and I think that's cool. It's always been a part of the Dark Brotherhood to find clever ways to kill someone, and I'm looking forward to it in this too. Moving on, I want to talk about something I was pretty excited about with the lore and the story. They said that the shadow scales will be a little bit of a part of the DLC. They're not going to focus on them. In case you don't know, the shadow scales are the Argonians born under the sign of the shadow, and then they're taken and trained from birth to be assassins to serve Argonia. And they said they're going to explore more at another time, but it's still going to be part of this DLC, and that really raises my hopes up. I'm thinking maybe we'll have a separate shadow scale DLC. You know, everyone loves assassinating people, so maybe once the Dark Brotherhood is done, in a few years, we'll see a shadow scale DLC. That would be very, very cool. It would bring up a couple problems, like if you're not an Argonian, but I'll probably make a separate video on that. But just them saying that at PAX East made me really excited for the future and what could come. But also, I love the shadow scale lore, so that's really nice that it's coming to the Dark Brotherhood DLC that we'll get, next month. Just quick, there will be new music coming to Dark Brotherhood. The music in this game is top notch, so always great to get more of that. And then let's move into poison making. This caught a lot of people by surprise, including me last week when they announced it, and the details sound pretty cool. As I expected, it's an extension on alchemy, and it will work pretty similar to making potions. Instead of using water when you want to make a poison, you're going to use oil, and there's lots of different effects you can use. Some will drain like stamina and magicka and things like that, and others will do other things. One thing that's going to change the gameplay a lot is you can use it in PvP, so now you can drain someone's magicka just by using your base weapon, and that's a little cool. I think it's going to change the PvP scene a little bit, which is always good to kind of change things up. You're going to be able to use a poison kind of like a potion. There's going to be a separate quick slot now, so you can just quickly hit that and it's going to poison your weapon. And then different poisons can be used on different skill bars. So say I have one, if I want to switch to my two-handed weapon from my bow, I can have a different poison on that skill bar completely. And one thing I just wanted to say real quick is I'm sure vendors will also be selling poison, so if you're worried because, hey, I've never put any skill points into alchemy, don't worry, because I'm sure you'll be able to buy them from other players and from NPC vendors too. Let's talk about the new costumes and motifs and things coming to the DLC. We have 2 new costumes, we have a new polymorph, a new dye which is obtained by poison making, 3 new item sets, 3 new crafting sets, and a lot of crown store items, including a tiger mount and a wolf mount. Now there was a data mine thing that popped up on the Reddit that actually showed a lot of new stuff coming, obviously not all with the Dark Brotherhood, but I didn't have time just to put in this video just because this video is already long and there were so many items, but I will put a link in the description for you to check that out. We also have some new motifs, 3 new motifs to be specific. We have the Thieves Guild motif, Abba's Watch motif, and the Assassin's League motif. You're going to be able to get the Thieves Guild and the Abba's Watch motifs by doing the daily quest for the Thieves Guild, and then the Assassin's League is found by doing the world bosses and the Gold Ghost. They're also adding a new personality. Now personalities have never been in the game before, but now they are, and they're coming as a loyalty reward. Not sure how many months you have to be subscribed in order to get it, but it's going to change the way that you stand, the way you move, and the way you emote. This is an assassin personality, so it's going to, I assume, make you a little bit more stealthy, and that's really cool. I did not expect this, and it just adds more customization to your character, and still it's a loyalty reward, so you might not get it, but if you are a member of ESO Plus and you have been for a little bit, you'll probably get it, and I'm just super pumped in order to put this on my character and just change the way I move. I never saw this coming, but it's a nice piece of customization that I'm really excited to use, like I said. Coming to the game too, we have 3 new titles. Silencer you'll get by completing the Dark Brotherhood quest line, Bane of the Gold Coast you get for doing the world bosses, delves, and a couple of the quests, and Ophidian Overlord is by completing the Veteran Sanctum Ophidia. And that pretty much does it for all the Dark Brotherhood news, but we have a lot of other stuff to talk about from PAX East, starting with the Imperial City and how that capture system is actually going to work in the Imperial City. So you'll now be able to capture districts, and you'll get them by raising a flag. And when you do that, you're going to get a buff to the amount of Telvar stones you gain, and it's also going to give you a respawn point for your alliance. Instead of respawning at the sewers, you're going to be able to respawn right in that district. This is a really nice addition because I feel like the Imperial City was kind of abandoned after people did all the content there, so now there's a little bit of a reason to go back, especially if you like small scale PvP. Speaking of small scale PvP, they mentioned at PAX East that they are working hard on arenas right now. We already kind of knew that, but just nice to get a reminder that they're in the works and they're, in development right now. They're also working on housing in the early stages. By the way they were talking, it really sounded like this is going to be the third quarter release, which is super awesome. I know I've been waiting for housing since like the beginning of the game, and I know quite a few people who have been watching the show are too. You may be able to dye costumes in the future. The way they answered it made me think yes, even though they said like maybe. I'm really leaning towards yes, so hopefully that's coming in the near future. They said they wouldn't be against the idea of cross-platform play, and that's play between consoles and PC. I would love to see that in the future. They said it's nowhere near development. They're not even really thinking about it right now, but they would be open to it sometime in the future, so it's always a possibility. Also now mounts and pets are shown in character selection, so when you log in, once a new Dark Brotherhood patch comes in, you'll see your mount and your pet right there when you're looking at your characters. Another couple things to fire off quick little tidbits of information. They have plans to eventually add Kraglorn to the group finder. They would love to return to Skyrim at some time and make like a Whiterun DLC. There's a new addition to pickpocketing where you can see someone's profession, and depending on their profession, you'll be able to pickpocket different things from them, and you only get certain items from certain people with a profession. Last up, I just wanted to talk about the veteran rank removal quick. The way gear is going to work now is instead of it being a veteran rank, it's going to have a champion point rank. So a veteran rank 14 piece of armor is now a champion point 140 piece of armor. And you're going to need 140 champion points in order to use that armor. If for some reason you haven't played since the champion point system was added, you can always use the gear that you had. So it's not like you'll have a piece of gear that you used to be able to use, but now you can't. But you're still going to need to get champion points in order to get better armor in the future. That pretty much does it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you got something out of it. There's a lot of news and I did my best to cover all of it. So if you liked the video, give it a like. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. I'm always doing ESO videos on MMOs, RPGs, anything that's coming up. So just make sure you stay tuned if you want to see that. If you have any comments, questions, anything to say, I love hearing from you guys below. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.